Hey folks, Aaron from Beansprout here. It's 2022 and we're overdue for a shop tour. This year I think what I'll do is I'll break it up into a few different videos. So for today it's just going to be the intro in this room. We'll talk about machines later, workflow, wood storage, that sort of thing. So a little bit of an intro before we talk about the rest of this room. This shop is a about 1,200 square foot pole barn, and we live in rural Oregon on 1 acre on a busy highway with a manufactured home in this shop. So when we moved in, it was just a metal building, so we framed it, insulated it, put windows, electrical heating, lights, all that, turned it into a wood shop. We're probably a little bit different than most lutherie shops because although lutherie is the main business, we still do a lot of music as our business, and we do a lot of different art. And then also I am generally interested in woodworking just for our home. So I'm building cabinets, furniture, fixing things, stuff for the house and the animals and whatever. So it's a big space, but it's broken up a lot. I find my productivity works best when I have dedicated spots for different crafts and I don't have to mix and match all the time. So you'll see that as we go through. So to begin with, this room, this is 1/3 of the shop. It's walled off and doored here to go to the machine room. This is the main lutherie spot, but it's also the music spot, the art spot, the video spot, the Zoom, that sort of thing. We've done a lot of teaching just right up here this last 2 years, and we've done in-person teaching in here over the years as well. So the biggest change for this year is that we redid the benches on this wall. This is the main lutherie bench, so to speak. It's got 2 different stations. I work here a little bit. Nicole does all her stuff right here, though, as well. And then over there's my main spot. This year, I changed the benches in this room to be about 5 inches higher because the height that you would want to hand plane or chop mortises at is not a good height for lutherie, for working on small musical instruments. So these are all taller now. And we made this bench just out of salvaged fir and built in some nice drawers, and then these thin shelves on the bottom where you can put instrument cases and instruments in progress down there, which has been really helpful. Got the Stumac vise, a regular front vise, and the little nut and saddle vise at the end. So the instruments spend their last week or 2 in here getting oil finish put on, getting the setup done, stringing them up, quality control, photo, video, all that stuff, as well as any repair work happens over here, restoration work, just general lutherie stuff. So on the main bench, we've got instruments in progress. My little workstation here, I've got the Kennedy chest to try to keep all the small lutherie tools organized. Got the stuff that I use the most out right here. But the good thing is that the way I have it done is these things can't slide out, so they don't fall off. Can't hit an expensive instrument, of course. Got LED lights generally through the shop, which has been good, but I'll show you some things we've learned about that later. Got a hand tool cabinet and clamps and a little disc sander there at the end, just for making nuts and saddles. You can see the heat just kicked in. This has got a little 220 electric heater in here. There's propane in the other room. This is just for nuts and saddles, as I said, and it's got a vacuum connected to it, so every time you use it, it sucks up the dust, so it stays pretty clean. So down at this end, this is a great work surface, but it's also designed and built to be basically a studio, a set for YouTube and Zoom and everything. I just wanted it to look cool and look like a shop. And I also needed a space down here that was a big, long, wide, flat, perfect surface for doing art, drawing, drafting, layout, leatherwork, just stuff where there wasn't going to be a glue blob to be under the piece of paper or whatever. So this bench is made from a solid core door, plywood, and then it's cedar for everything else. And of course, all the drawers just swallow up stuff. We've got my personal instruments over here. We've got some vintage instruments that I'm inspired by. We've got outdoor equipment hanging up, that sort of thing. I've got some of my grandmother's old paintings up here. A little bit of a library, files, Henry's tool chest. This is an old film cabinet that we use mainly for banjo parts and supplies. I generally follow a system that I learned from Gordon at Miyamoe for supplies. So like in here, one of the things that's in here is glue, lots of different kinds of glue. So I have glue bottles out multiple places around in the shop, and one of those is empty. I come over here and get a new one. This is the secondary spot. And the time that you pull the last bottle out of here, you know it's time to order. But you're not out yet, you still got a bottle in the primary spot. So you never run out this way. If you've got this primary and secondary, you just order when you pull the last secondary bottle. And it goes well because you don't have to do inventory then. You just go until you've pulled the last secondary bottle onto a primary spot, and then you've got as long as that first bottle lasts for the shipping to get the new thing here. So, you know, we've got glue, tape, accelerator, banjo parts, strings, you know, all that. Of course, we've got shelves going up everywhere, and we're always trying to store cases. Cases are a big bummer, hard to store. Got a cabinet over here, just a general, mechanics tool cabinet. And then a cabinet over here of, you know, solvent and finish and, you know, that sort of thing. This is kind of Henry's bench, our son Henry. If he's in the shop, he's usually right here. It's still useful for all of us, though, because it's right inside the front door, so a lot happens here. But he might be doing Legos here or reading books or drawing, or he's got trays of his own tools and supplies down there as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the front room. It's nice to have this 1/3 of the shop cut off and be a little cleaner, a little quieter. It's peaceful over on this side, and it's the most insulated from the traffic noise as well, which it makes it good for audio and video in here. And you know, yeah, I could make use of a smaller space, but I like having this space. We got room to do everything we need. So yeah, stay tuned for part 2. We'll go into the other room and we'll talk about machines. Thanks a lot. Bye.